Hello there and welcome to my channel. This is Non-Gone and today we're playing Metal Gear Solid 6, The Search for More Packages. I'm just kidding. It's only Death Stranding. Hi, Sam. We're playing the PS4 version, the non-director's cut. We're playing it on PS5 to reduce loading screens because we're doing a Speed Platinum. We'll call it Speed Plat Sunday again. This is my sixth one in the series. I'm offering the same contest as I have for the other ones, which is a $50 PlayStation gift card or code to the first person who can use these strategies and beat my time. This has to be recorded and logged on the leaderboards at PSN profiles under the 100% club, and then reach out to me through there so that I know that you beat that record using my videos and my time. This is a fun game. I'm really looking forward to doing this one. The game itself is about maximizing your routes and creating optimal pathways, and that's really what a Speed Platinum's about. So it's almost like this game was built to do this, and I'm not sure that anyone has yet. Now, this one's a little bit weird, just like all of them, in that I don't know the time, my target time, what I'm trying to accomplish, and I also don't know what the top time is, what time I'm trying to beat, which are two pretty important things when you're trying to be on a leaderboard. How good are you, and how good is everybody else? So I'm gonna do a little story time here before we get into the meat of this run. This particular video is going to be an overview and like kind of the plan of attack, and then I'm going to give you checkpoints for the actual run, and then maybe kind of a post game where I kind of break down where you could improve after I've done it all. But yeah, this part is going to be story time. So if you don't want to hear this, just skip to the next section. As for why I don't know how long it's going to take me. Today's October 7th. I planned on doing this run on the 22nd. I decided to do it about a week ago. So I had about 3 weeks, and I had just finished it on my other account. So I knew the gameplay already. I figured that was enough time to kind of route the segments and optimize pretty good and get it going. Well, the plans that we had for this weekend got moved to that weekend, and I looked at the calendar, and I really don't have any free time until like next year. So it's kind of now or never, that gave me like basically 3 days to prep this. As a result, I'm not even done with my practice run. I'm just going to wing it, and the part that I'm missing is the most important part, which is all those deliveries between the 29 locations in the central region. So I don't even know how good this is going to be. I'm just going to do the best I can. But that's good for you because it gives you lots of room to optimize it and do better. So that's kind of why I don't know what the run's going to be. I think it's going to be about 30 hours. I was shooting for 24, but it seems pretty obvious that that's not going to happen. The second one, which is interesting, is the time to beat. And if you look at the current fastest achievers list, I'll put it up there. It's Smith-WZ at 3 days and 10 hours. When I first looked at this leaderboard, that was the fourth best run. There were three that were faster, and I was determining whether I was going to be able to beat him or not. The first one was like 9 hours, which, come on, man. So I assumed that all three of those, the other one was like 28 and the third one was like 33, and I was like, yeah, that's impossible. So I looked at their lists and I flagged them all, or reported them all for illegitimate lists, and those were accepted and removed. Now, the first two were no big deal. Their chapter trophies were out of order, so that's a clear sign that something's not right happening there. The third one, what I ended up reporting them for was upgrading all their structures before they built all their structures, which sounds right, but you can upgrade other people's structures that you didn't build. And so that is actually called a false flag. It was a bad reason. That doesn't mean the list isn't cheated or the time isn't impossible. It just means that that particular reason isn't accurate. The problem is, when somebody gets removed from the leaderboards on the site, unless you know their user ID, there's no way to find them again because they're not on any leaderboards. There's no list. Unless you can find like a recent profile view or something. And I don't have time to reach out to the staff and find out before I do this run. So my point is, there is a decent or a small chance. I really do think the list was cheated. I think there might have been like a 20-hour gap in there too, but I can't remember and I can't find it. So, but there is a small possibility that that was a legitimate prepared Speed Platinum, just like I'm about to do. And if that's the case, then that will actually be the real time that I have to beat, because they will dispute it, and I'll be part of that resolution process, and definitely get them back on the leaderboards. Nobody wants to remove people for cheating that didn't cheat on this site. So I'm going to guess, I think it was about 33 hours, so I'm going to use that as my target time. But again, I don't remember what it was, and it may look like a lot faster than you think because that 3 days and 10 hours is current right now, but there might be a faster one out there. So just wanted to let you know on that. With that, we're going to go ahead and get into the actual run here. So when I do a speed platinum, I look at three things. Number one, what can you do before the first trophy? Number two, what's your danger? What'll wreck your run if you don't pay attention to it? And number three, what's your roadmap? Now, the first one doesn't matter. You get a trophy for completing the prologue, and you can't really do any prep before that. So it's on a completely different map and everything. So that one's out the window. The danger part, and what I mean by this is like, okay, you do everything else, and then you get done, and you're like, uh-oh, I didn't do blank, and not doing blank is going to cost you like 30 hours. So that, for me, comes down to three trophies, which is Best Beloved, Great Deliverer, and Growth of a Legend. And also the Fount of Knowledge, I think, where you collect the memory chips. That'll only add like 3 hours max if you forget to do it. But these other ones are the meat of the game. So the one that I use as the starting point for this is Best Beloved, and that is for getting all 39 locations to the maximum affinity level or stars or whatever connection. And that takes forever. You have to give them lots of deliveries. If you focus on miscellaneous and time, you can get Great Deliverer as well. And then you're left with Growth of a Legend, which you also have to watch out for. And that is for getting the 5 points of this star right here to level 60. Now, most of them will be pretty close just from doing deliveries, but the 5th one is Bridge Links, and that's from online likes, the green ones. So we have to make sure to focus on that as well. So that's the danger. Those are the things to watch out for. As far as the roadmap goes, we're basically going to use, there's a 5 hour and 7 minute speed run that was the world record for a while by Distortion 2, and that has probably the best routing for the game itself. We have to watch for those danger things, and so we're going to be setting up zip lines in strategic places, adding to that speed run. We're going to be adding materials to pavers, which is the quickest way to get those online likes. You'll go up like 10 levels with one like delivery to a paver. So and we're going to be getting memory chips that are along the way, so we'll hopefully save on that. And we'll also be connecting a few of the optional locations because you have to connect them all anyway, and we want to put zip lines down. So we're going to be adding those specific things to Distortion's run, and that's going to put us at about the 10-hour mark, but we're going to have a lot of prep, a lot of groundwork laid for later. At that point, we'll start in the eastern region and start clearing them out and doing the 7 locations there, getting them to 5 stars, getting all the memory cards memory chips. And then we'll move on to the central region and do the same thing, at which point we should be pretty close on all those things, do a little bit of cleanup, and we'll be done. So that's the roadmap. There's not much more I have to say. I'm going to do a detailed walkthrough of all of this, so it's probably going to be like 10 hours of videos that'll follow this. So I'm going to go ahead and rest up and get going with the run, and I'll see you in about 12 hours, and we'll get started. So until then, stay bad, people. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. It is 8:38 on the clock on Friday night. We're going to start on very easy. We're going to have to switch to hard eventually, but we can do most of this on very easy right now. Like I always say for speed platinums, this is a test of physical and mental endurance, as well as being able to play the video game and routing and all that stuff. And the two things that I always like to advocate in those circumstances are be prepared and good self-care. I got home from work about 5 o'clock. I had eaten a big meal right at work before I left. I was able to come home and sleep for about, 3 hours or so, which is good for me. Usually I'm really excited, and it takes a little bit. Yeah, 420, you know it. There you go. Usually I'm too excited, so it's really hard to start a speed plat on a Friday night. It just, I don't know. I get thinking in my head, what am I going to do? When am I going to start all that? But I was able to get about 3 hours, so I'm feeling pretty good. My wife's out of town, so I have the house to myself. I've got probably at least 30 pages of notes. I'll show you here I got this stupid map that I'll never use. This hand-drawn horrible map for zip lines. I've got it helped in the beginning, but now I know where to put them, so it's no big deal. I've got every standard order here in case I need to reference, like, you know, say I need orders for first prepper. I know where I can go and find them. I've got about 5 pages of like specific playthrough notes, which I'll be using quite frequently. So I'm pretty prepared on that front. As for the self-care, I've got plenty of water, plenty of food ready to go. My phone's off, so I won't have to have those distractions. Got some of my favorite energy drink right here and a nice big cup of coffee. So I'm going to try and get through the whole night and into tomorrow evening, and we'll see where we're at tomorrow night. For the moment, we're ready to go, and I will probably check in. We're going to get our first trophy here in about 5 minutes, so about 8:45, and then I'll probably check in with you right around the 3 hour and 50-minute split time, which is going to be, again, we're in the prologue, so there's no hurry on this part. We haven't started the trophies yet, so the clock isn't running. But yeah, I'll check in with you at the 3 hour and 50-minute split time, which would be, what is that, 9, 10, 11, 12, 41, about 12:30 in the morning. So I'll be back, and wish me luck, and we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, so we just got the BB, so we just finished Cliff, and we're about to be at our first split time of this run. This is the 3 hour and 50-minute split time, and I am happy and somewhat amazed to report that it has been exactly 3 hours and 50 minutes. We started at 8:45. It's 12:35 right now. So just checking in, letting you know things are going pretty much exactly according to plan. I could have done it quicker, but I got cute, tried to get a memory chip that I'd never tried to get there before, and it cost me a little bit, but that's okay. So yeah, we're just going to meet Mom up at her lab, and then we'll be done here, and I'll check back in at the next split when we're in Mountain Knot City. All right, so we're checking back in here. We just finished our second battle with Cliff, so we're at the second split. This would be the time where we gotta go up to Hartman's, and then ultimately the geologist, paleontologist, Evo Devo, back to Hartman, and then to the chiral relay. That is the third portion that the way I split it out. The split time, I'm not sure if I'm like missing something or what, but I'm about 30 minutes behind right now. It should have been 2:55 when I finished it, 6 hours and 10 minutes. And I started at 8:45, so it seems right. But it is 3:25 in the morning, so I don't know how I lost 30 minutes. I know I got up and like made some coffee and took about a 10-minute break at the last split. I don't know why I'm so far behind. It's okay. As long as I get to the credits by 10 hours, it'll be fine. So anyway, I'm going to keep going here, and I'll pick up with you on the next split, which will be once we get to Edge Knot. So, yep, I'll see you then. Good. Okay, so we're rolling up to the chiral relay here. That is the 8 hour split time, which is the third split in my practice run. Again, I got like 3/4 of them done and then had to go ahead and run. So at least I got some times to compare it to. It is 7 hours and 58 minutes right now, and I'm guessing the other two will be us finishing this part off. So it might be slightly a little bit behind schedule, but we made up the whole half hour from the last time, and that makes me think that I probably didn't write it down correctly. Like maybe I had a half an hour portion that I thought was in part 2 and it was really part 3. I haven't noticed any like horrible pluses or minuses on this run other than not doing the first prepper mission. So regardless, we're doing great. We're sitting right here, like I said, at the 8 hour mark, and spirits are high. I'm starting to get a little tired. It's like 4:45 in the morning now or something. So this is usually the time in my speed flat runs when I talk about good self-care, be prepared, good self-care. I have not eaten anything in about 14 hours. And you don't think about it when you're doing that stuff, but I definitely need to get some food. So I'm going to do that. And then probably get something to drink and maybe take a shower. I don't know, somewhere around this time is when I usually do that. So yeah, but other than that, we're doing real good, and I'll see you back here hopefully at the 10 hour mark. We'll be looking at the credits. I'll see you then. All right, so far so good. We're at the credits. It is 9 hours and 44 minutes into the run. So we're just about 16 minutes ahead of schedule from the practice run. So that's good to know. Next thing we got to do is go in and clean out all 7 of the locations in this eastern region and grab the last 2 memory chips. That's what we're going to work on next. That's about a 3-hour split. So, yep, here we go. It's like I said, 6:30 in the morning, making myself some hot dogs, and we're going to keep chugging. So I'll see you in 3 more hours. Okay, we're back. We're at the 13-hour checkpoint, which corresponds, I believe, to the end of video 5 in the in-depth walkthrough. We have cleared out the eastern region. All 7 locations are at 5 stars, and we have all of the memory chips for it. We're actually dead on schedule. We're right at 13 hours. I actually finished 11 hours early. That would be something. 11 minutes early, and I used those 11 minutes to take a shower and get something to eat and just kind of recompose myself. And the reason for that is that we are now going into uncharted territory. I did about 6 hours in 2 segments beyond this, but I thought about it after I did it, and I don't like the way it was done at all. So I'm going to kind of wing it from here on out. So the basic plan, so since you won't see it in the detail because I'm going to overwrite it, the first plan was to get all the crappy stuff taken care of in the central region, like that stupid pizza delivery where you got to walk all the way from south to north and hand carry the champagne. There's a huge delivery from the Northwest Distribution Center down to the Timefall Farm that gives you like 2,000 likes, but you have to pretty much drive because it's like 1,000 kilograms of cargo, so you got to get a truck. The veteran porter and the first prepper, well, not the first prepper, the veteran porter, you have to kind of exploit to get him up to 5 stars, so that's a bunch of messing around. Just, you know, those general things. There's a memory chip way up on that peak by the Timefall Farm, so I went and legged it up to the top of there. That took 3 hours and 20 minutes to do all those dumb things, and I don't feel like I really accomplished anything in that time. And then I did another 3-hour split of running around the mountains trying to 5-star all the locations there. And that took 3 hours and didn't really get me anywhere either. So, I mean, I got like 5 of them 5-starred or something. But I think we're going to try it a different way this time. We're going to try to start at Lake Knot City and work our way down the way the game progresses. Because those preppers, as you 5-star them, they will give you bandwidth. So you don't have to worry so much about zip lines. They will give you upgrades. So like when I go to do that pizza delivery, I'll have a level 3 speed skeleton instead of a 1. So I won't be running out of battery all the time. So that's kind of the route that I'm planning on going. I don't know anything. I haven't scheduled it. I haven't even worked in this part of the map. So we'll see how it goes. I'll check in when it's convenient. And I'm going to do live commentary on this run for the detail walkthrough too. So that would be the start of part 6 if you want to see what's actually happening. So... yep. In the meantime, I'll stay bad. I'll see you in a couple hours. We'll see how it goes. All right, so we're 3 hours in, and basically what I did with the central region, since I had not had a practice run that was viable, is I broke it into basically 3 sections. The north part is the first, which is Lake Knot, the distribution center, and then the engineer, elder, craftsman, and that way station, since remember we had a zip line built there already. I've gone ahead and done that. I spent 3 hours out here pretty much just running zip lines and running packages back and forth. I have managed to 5-star the engineer, the elder, the craftsman, and that way station. So I still got the 2 big ones, the DC and Lake Knot. But we're going to go ahead and move on because there's other deliveries. And we're going to slide on south and spend about 3 hours down there. What I've learned is that I don't necessarily think, unless I reimagine this entire thing, which I of course don't have time to do, that you can do these in any less than about 3 hours for 6 or 7 of these. I think it just takes a half an hour to 5-star to get 5-star deliveries. The problem is the game has lots of deliveries available, but they're all behind each other. So it's not like you can just pick up all 3 for the engineer at a place. You got to get one and then go back and get another. So you're always just going back and forth. Anyway, that's just an observation. We're 16 hours in, and we've done 4 of the 6 in the top half. So that's not a bad start. We're going to do a couple unpleasant things next, and then we'll jump down to the southern half, which is where the South Knot, cosplayer, all that is. So I'll see you then. Okay, so I'm back. We're at the 45-hour and 43-minute mark, and we just got our platinum, finally. I expected this to be somewhere around 28 to 30. It certainly was not. We had a bit of a problem at about 2 or 3 this morning involving a lost cargo piece with the Novelist's Son. If you want details of that, I think it's in part 11 of the walkthrough. And it was a mere seconds away from me turning the game off and giving up on this run, which I've never done before. So I know eventually that will happen, where I'll glitch out or something, or I'll find out something that's unobtainable that I didn't know. But I thought today was the day. It turned out to not be. And 12 hours of wasted time later, we are here. I still got the top time for the moment. I do think that shorter run was probably not a planned speed run. If it was a very well planned speed run, because I was going to be right around that time too. So we'll see if it ends up on top. I can't guarantee that I will not play this again. I don't like the way this turned out. I think I could do a lot better, and I made a decision to move forward because I was excited and to play this without properly preparing for it. And this cost me maybe even more time than the Novelist's Son problem. And it left kind of a bad taste in my mouth so far. So I'm going to give it a couple weeks and just think on it. But I can tell you from past experiences that normally this type of thing doesn't go away in my mind. So there's a pretty good chance that I'm going to come out. I got a feeling I could sub 24 hour this, and it's going to bother me if I don't. So anyway, if I do, I'll come back and we'll have some bonus content. How's that grab you? Also, if I do it, I might give myself the $50. Technically I did beat my time, right? So anyway, stay bad, people. Non-gone is gone.